Welcome back to my channel. I'm Jem and I make educational videos on divination, spirituality, and leading a magical life. Today we're going to talk about Sylvia Abraham's 17 card tarot spread. This spread is from Abraham's book, How to Read the Tarot, the Keyword System. The version I used was a reprint from 1997. I'm sharing the spread because it's an insightful expansion of the Celtic Cross tarot spread with a focus on future plans and goals. But if you decide to pick up this book, I advise you to disregard her take on tarot history. She says tarot images were pictured in the pyramids of ancient Egypt. This has been debunked for some time. I haven't made a video on tarot history yet, but it's important for you to know that the myth that tarot came from ancient Egypt is a fabrication from the 18th and 19th century occultists who were trying to lend antiquity and prestige to their system. Now, the accepted history has been that it started as a game in the 14th century. While it was a game in Europe during this time, this is also an incomplete history. It's more likely that it came from the Romani people, and that the stereotypes around them is why we ended up with occultists saying it had roots in ancient Egypt. Anyway, that's all for another video, but I wanted to mention it in case you decide to pick up the book. The Celtic Cross Tarot Spread. Before we dive into the 17 card tarot spread, let's take a look at the Celtic Cross spread. The history of the Celtic Cross tarot spread is uncertain, but is extremely popular amongst tarot readers. When I was learning tarot, this was the first spread I learned after the standard 3-card past, present, future spread. It was first mentioned in print by Arthur Edward Waite, co-creator of the Rider-Waite deck. It was printed in his 1910 Tarot Introduction, a pictorial key to the tarot, where he claimed it had been used privately for some time in England, Scotland, and Ireland. There is a theory that the Celtic Cross spread was first invented by occultist West End actress, early feminist Florence Farr. She was a friend and collaborator to many well-known figures like William Butler Yeats, Ezra Pound, Oscar Wilde, and the illustrator of the Rider-Waite tarot deck, Pamela Colman Smith. Farr was initiated into the Isis Urania Temple of the Order of the Golden Dawn in London by Yeats in July 1890. The Celtic Cross is an incredibly versatile 10-card spread with a cross on the left and a pillar on the right. Card 1 represents the person or the current situation. Card 2 literally crosses over card 1. This card represents what is bothering the client. Card 3 represents the past and how they have shaped the current situation. Card 4 represents the near future if nothing changes. Card 5 represents the conscious mind, but I've also seen it used as the heavenly forces guiding the situation. Card 6 represents the beliefs and values that the client doesn't understand yet, but should learn about because they're affecting the current situation. It can also represent unseen forces. Card 7 is the client's perception of the situation. Card 8 is the client's environment and how it affects the situation. Card 9 represents their hopes or fears of the situation and how it affects the outcome. Card 10 is the outcome, meaning the most likely resolution to the issue. How to read the 17-card tarot spread. I explained the Celtic Cross because you'll see that the 17-card spread is extremely similar. It's really an expansion of that one. It's great if you want to spend more time with the client and get some additional information. As usual, have the client shuffle the cards if you're in person. Place the cards in numerical order. All cards should be facing up. Before launching into the reading, skim the spread for major arcana and court cards. These represent real people in the client's life. Card 1 is the client's concern or question. Card 2 is the conflict, what is crossing the client or causing concern. Card 3 is happiness or sadness. In the Celtic Cross, this position represents the conscious or the spiritual component pushing the client along. This spread alters that to represent the overarching emotion that is driving the client. Card 4 are the conditions of health and security. In the Celtic Cross, this position represents the subconscious. Whether we feel safe or unsafe, we tend to store those emotions in our subconscious. So this change is not too far off. This version expands the sense of security to the physical realm by adding physical health. Card 5, past actions affecting the first card. This will represent the client's actions that cause them to have their main question or concern. This is great for accountability purposes, but be careful not to slip into victim blaming or finger wagging. Card 6, Immediate Future. This card is meant to be a prediction. The immediate future can be up to 3 to 6 months. Card 7, Character and Ego Traits of the Client. Qualities of the client that are relevant to the overall question. Card 8, Outside Influences Affecting Money, Environment, and the Main Concern. Card 9, Hopes and Fears Relating to the 10th card, which is the outcome. Card 10, The Outcome. This is the overall resolution. Depending on the question, it may confirm card 6, the immediate future, but not always. The overall outcome may take months or years and may unravel in very different circumstances than the near future. Card 11, Past Actions of Family and Friends. We're affected by our community. This card represents how they affected the current situation. Card 12, Illusions regarding the main question or secret enemies. Card 13, Future Plans. It's important to remember that future plans are not the same as future outcomes. Cards 6, 10, and 13 may all rhyme if you're already on the right path, but that won't always be the case. Card 14, Past Emotional Concerns. Emotions evolve. This card represents past emotions that contributed to the current situation. Cards 15, 16, 17, Goals for the Future. This is particularly helpful if the client feels a little lost in life and needs some extra guidance. And that's the 17 card tarot spread. If you use this spread, tag me and let me know what you thought about it. If you found this tutorial useful, subscribe to this channel for more educational videos on divination, spirituality, and leading a magical life. Thanks for watching. Bye.